Hi, in this video we're going to continue with our Axway Amplify Fusion project deployment journey. This is the fourth video in the series, and if you recall in the last video we deployed a second version of our project into check, and we had a deployment job for version 2 in order to do that. In this video we're going to continue, and we're going to assume that our QA department tested our integration in check, and now we're ready to deploy into live. And again, we have no projects in live, as you can see from the designer dashboard. So a deployment manager can come in to the manager module and go to our deployments to find our deployment job for version 2, because that's the version that we want to deploy into live. So if I run it, the last time we deployed into check, this time we're going to deploy into live. And that was successful. So if I go back to the designer, I now see I have a project in live. And if you recall, what the deployment manager needs to do is they also need to go and set the connection overrides for the live or the production environment. So I'm going to come here to environments. And I'm going to go into, let me go into live and come back into environments, go into details and into projects. So here's my project in live, and I'll go to my production, to my connector override, and I'll click the override option and select the protocol. And again, our authentication was basic. If you recall, in the design environment, where my URL had design in it, and the check environment had check, I had my basic authentication, so I was following a scheme of ABCD and then add EFGH. So sure enough, what we're going to do, IJKL. Okay, so IJKL, and then we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're going to do 9, 10, 11, 12. And let me click update and cancel all this. And we are done. All right, so we have a connection override. So now let's go on to events and let's activate our API. We're in the live environment. We're in our hello deployment. We only have one connection. Let's activate that. Let's get our URL. And let's come in here. And notice the URL now has the live suffix. And if I come here, we need basic authentication, ABCD, EFGH, IJKL. And I have 9, 10, 11, 12. Oop. 9, 10, 11, 12. And there we get hello from V2. Very nice. So what I'd like to do now is, let's say, well, let's leave that running because we're in production. And let's come back into designer and let the developers work on the project. Okay, so I'm back in my project. I'm in design mode and I am an integration designer. I come into my integration and I can make a modification. So let's come in here, and our modifications are quite simple. Let's say I've got a V3. All right, let's activate that. And let's test it. So if I go into my design and test, hello from V3. And in production, right, production, I'm still hello from V2. So let's disable this in design. I know it gets a little confusing switching between designer and manager and then design, check, and live, but I'm a developer, I'm in design mode, I'm in the designer. Now a deployment manager can come in here and conversion the project by clicking create new version, have a commit message for version 3, And now that I've got version 3, let's go create a deployment job as we've done before. So we can call it hello deployment. This is v3 and it's a deployment job, and I'll create a job. That's great. And now let's skip the whole QA. Normally we'd go through a QA deployment. Let's go to live. Currently we do not support live zero downtime deployment. So what I do need to do is I do need to go into the manager. I need to go into live mode and temporarily disable or deactivate my event in order to make a new deployment. So zero downtime deployment is coming. I'll come back here to my deployments. I have to go to design. Go to my deployments and let's run this into the live environment. So we're going to deploy v3 into the live environment. And that worked. So I can now go into the live environment and go into events and activate this. And now when I come here into live, I see hello from v3. So that's great. Now what I want to do is, let's say that we discover we have a problem in production with v3. What are we going to do? Well, we are going to come here onto our environments. We're going to go into our deployments. We need to go to design mode, into our deployments, and now I have the ability to do what's called a rollback. So this was me deploying the project from design into live. So that's version 3. So what I want to do is I want to do a rollback, because that version 3, while it worked in design, and let's assume we tested it in QA, we're seeing an issue in production. We would like to roll back. So this is the rollback feature, and I'm just going to roll back hello deployment version 3, and I need to disable it first. Okay, so let me first do that. Events in live. I need to come to events and deactivate this. I need to come back to design, go to deployments, go to history, and I am going to roll back. Okay, so it's good news. I've rolled back. Now what I can do is I can go back into live mode. I can go into my events. And the problem here is when you do a rollback, you do lose your connection override. So what I'm going to do is go into my environments, go into my details and projects, redo my connection overrides. And we said this is basic. And we are A, B, C, D, E, F, G, so we're A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, we're I, J, K, L, and we're 9, 10, 11, 12. And to do an update. And now I can go to events, and I can activate. And now when I come here, I have now rolled back to version 2. So what we saw in this video is we saw how we could take an existing deployment job for version 2 and then deploy that project to live. We did the connection override again in our live or production environment and tested. That's great. Then we went back to the designer mode, design mode in the designer, and our developers created a version 3. And then we deployed that to live, and we ran it, and we saw that version 3 was running in production, but we discovered we had a problem. So what we did was we deactivated the event in production, we went to our deployment job history, and we did a rollback to roll the project in production back to V2. Then the only issue is we had to deal with our connection overrides. The rollback, we lost our connection overrides, so we had to redo those. And then when we re-enabled our event, our version 2 product was back in production. Thank you.